In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through some early rehab suggestions for your Achilles tendinopathy. And make sure you keep watching until the very end of the video, as I will be giving you some useful hints and tips along the way to make sure that you're optimizing your rehab and your recovery. And we're going to start right now. Just before we get started, if this is your first time to the channel, then welcome to Genuine Physio. My name is Luke and I am a senior musculoskeletal physiotherapist from the UK. If you would like to know more about Achilles tendinopathy and all other things pain and rehabilitation, then consider hitting the subscribe button and tapping that notification bell so you get notified every time I release a new video, which I do every single week. Now, the easiest type of exercises that you can do are called isometrics. And an isometric exercise is where you are contracting the muscle, but there isn't any movement going on at the joint. Now, these would be appropriate. Sometimes they can help with a little bit of pain relief, but they're only really appropriate if you've got very irritable symptoms. So they're the easiest type of thing that you could do. They're not that functional because ultimately we want to try and get the calf and the Achilles moving through range with load as soon as possible. So if you do find that they're too easy, don't bother doing them. But there are a few different variations that we can try. So obviously I've got a barbell here. You could grab a heavy bag of rice across your lap. You could grab a hand luggage with some heavy books or a few bottles of water in. That would work quite well. And you're just bringing your heels up off the floor onto your toes and then just holding that contraction. You can do that for 5 seconds to begin with, and then you can increase as your symptoms allow. And then you would slowly lower down. And then again, you could go up and you would just hold that position. And that is your isometric muscle contraction with a bent knee in sitting. In the video that we put together on the treatment and management for Achilles tendinopathy, I went into some detail about why it's so important to complete the exercises with a straight knee, but also with a bent knee. Now, this is because you have two muscles in your calf, your gastrocs and your soleus. They're both very important and they both need to be rehabbed. So we've done the isometrics with a bent knee. We're now doing them with a straight knee. So you just roll up onto your toes and hold. Again, starting off with 5 seconds, seeing how your symptoms tolerate that, and then you can increase from there. If you did find that too easy, then you could go up on 2 legs, and then once you're up, you can transfer your body weight onto the affected leg, and you can feel and see the calf working with that isometric contraction. Now we're going to start off loading our Achilles tendon through range. So we'll start off with some of the easiest ones, again, that you might want to do if your symptoms are quite irritable, and then we'll progress through the difficulties. Easiest version is going to be a double leg heel raise on a flat surface. So find some support. Now, if your symptoms are very irritable, you don't even have to have 50% of your weight going through both legs. You could have slightly more weight on your unaffected leg, so that you've got less weight on your affected leg as you slowly rise up. And then as you progress, as your symptoms decrease slightly, you can aim for 50% of your range going through both legs. Now, one really important thing to note when I'm doing these heel raises is that they are being done very slowly. Now, we refer to something with tendons called time under tension or time under load. And this refers to the fact that when you are doing your rehab, when you're doing your loading, the tendon needs time under load. Now, admittedly, these exercises can be quite boring, but if you do them quite quickly, the tendon has a lot less time under load and you're going to recover slower, essentially. The tendon is going to recover quicker if it has time under load. So I would recommend maybe counting 3, 2, 1 on the way up, and then 3, 2, 1 on the way down. If that was okay, you can complete the exercise eccentrically by doing the same thing to begin with. So coming up on both legs. And then if we say the left side is the affected side, you would go onto the affected side to come slowly down. Other leg down, up onto, across to the affected side, and then slowly down. If you did want to make the eccentric phase harder, you would do it off the edge of a step so that your Achilles tendon is working through more range. So you drop your heels lower than the step, go up on 2 legs across to the affected side and then slowly down on the affected leg. As mentioned before, it's always a good idea to do it with a straight knee and a bent knee. So you could get your soleus involved by coming up onto your heels with a bent knee, coming across, and then slowly lowering down. If you did want to increase the eccentric loading even further, you could add some additional load. So I'm going to use a dumbbell at home. If you haven't got access to weights, you could just use a rucksack on your back with some, again, bottles of water, cans of food, anything heavy that you can find at home. I'm going to go up on 2 legs, move over to the affected side, down on 1 leg. Up on 2 legs, over to the affected side, down on 1 leg. And you'd also do the same with a bent knee. So slight bend in the knee, up on 2 legs, over to the affected side, and then down on 1. When you're comfortable with that, then we can incorporate some concentric. So it's the same graduated progress with 1 leg. So when you're happy doing your double leg heel raises on a flat surface, you would move on to a single leg heel raise on a flat surface, and you would be going slowly up, slowly down. When you're comfortable with that, you could add some additional load. Slowly up, slowly down. 3, 2, 1 on the way up. 3, 2, 1 on the way down. And then you would do exactly the same with a bent knee as well. So slight bend in the knee, heel off the floor, heel slowly down, heel off the floor, heel slowly down. And once again, when you're comfortable with that, you would add some additional load. If that became too easy, then you would do it off a step. So on your single leg, dropping the heel below the step with a straight knee, all the way through the range to the end. And every time you're doing them, you're trying to get right onto the first and second toe. Add some additional load when you're comfortable with that. And then you would also do it on a bent knee, So you're going all the way up and then slowly down. Drop that heel below the level of the step to make sure you're working through as much range as possible. So before we finish up, just a few important points to consider. The first is, do make sure you're doing the exercises slowly. The tendon does need time under load. The second is that make sure you're loading yourself enough. Really, we're aiming for around 1.5 times body weight in terms of how much we're actually lifting. Getting to the stage where you can do a single leg heel raise on your body weight and thinking that is enough is not always good enough, particularly, again, if you're heading back to higher level activities. And again, if you're heading back to higher level activities, we've just focused on calf strength today, but consider some quadricep, hamstring, glute, and core strength as well if you want to optimize your rehab and your performance going forwards. Thank you for watching. I hope that was helpful. I would love to hear from you. So do let me know below the video which exercises you found most useful. The isometrics, the eccentrics, concentrics, or maybe a combination of all 3. If you are new to the channel, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. It means you'll get notified every time I release a new video. It also means that more people are likely to see the video that hopefully you found useful. If you have found today's video useful, then you may also like the video that I have done on a higher level rehab for Achilles tendinopathy, and there is a whole playlist on the channel to help you manage your Achilles tendinopathy better at home. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I will see you again very soon.